All right, it's 3 o'clock. I didn't mute myself because I'm running this popsicle stand today with my friends, with my good friends, my network marketing friends. I love you guys very much, and I'm very excited to be on here. I tried to ask my Instagram for topics to talk about after Eric texted me in very recent history. My Instagram's let me down. So, I really feel like they just, Instagram as a whole, that platform is just, yeah, 5 minutes ago, I think I posted it. I was like, there's 600 viewers, you turds, give me a topic. But anyway, so they didn't give me a topic, but, anyway, it doesn't matter. I know what I want to talk about at least at first. And then I would, as always, like to collaborate. And then maybe by the time I'm done rambling at you guys, there will be, there will be some topics also I can trade about. Who knows? So good to see all of you. This is like, I don't know. Everybody always says it, but I think it's my favorite hour of the week. Not even one of my favorite hours of the week. Not just because I get to learn from you guys, but I think my favorite part of this and definitely of network marketing is actually the relationships. And so I love seeing your faces because then I see you in person and it's so sad to see you, so sad to see you. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to just kind of go through, if you think this would be beneficial to you, are some things that I'm specifically doing to really just in general scale a lot of stuff I'm personally doing in my business. So I know we're all drivers, or else we wouldn't be on this call. I get really frustrated at plateaus, personally speaking. Maybe you can relate. I don't know. And a plateau to me isn't even just like holding steady on volume. I don't like slow growth either, which I know is just being A, picky, and B, it's a stage of business I'm in, but that is the stage of business I'm in. So that's where I can really speak from. I'm not in I'm not in management mode. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just not there. So I want to share some stuff that's really been working, some like inside stuff, some incentive kind of stuff, some campaign stuff, and kind of just go from there on things that have really worked super well for me. So the first thing I do want to say is I've realized that teams seem to be impacted well when there is a theme. So I don't know if you want to set it as a quarterly theme or as an annual theme or as a monthly theme or whatever, but in particular, my organization has really latched onto a training I did called the Deck of Cards training. And I'm pretty sure all of you have either seen it or you're familiar with it, but basically you shuffle a deck of cards in front of people, you explain that you're looking for jokers in business, right? Those are people who can actually run, and you literally flip the deck of cards in front of them. It's super impactful. I did it really quickly for a couple people at Eric's house, whenever Most Powerful Women was like a month ago. And it's just something that every time I do it, and I've done it for years now, our team goes crazy. Like, our team's always like, deck of cards, deck of cards, deck of cards, because it's a really good mindset training. It's a really good mindset training, which is definitely part of the reason I'm scaling. So we'll talk about that too. But it's the whole idea that if you commit to the idea of understanding you're going to need 54 people, which, by the way, I don't even know if that's a real number, right? But I tell them to earn your car, you need 54 people working on your team. And it's just a number that people latch onto because they know how many cards are in a deck of cards. And then I tell them, hey, when they get defeated, I'm just like, why are you done flipping your cards? You've only flipped 21. Like, of course you don't have your car yet. And it also keeps things in perspective. Like, well, maybe Kat flipped her joker really early in her business, and maybe yours is card number 54. And so for whatever reason, that seems to be a theme of our team that has just really become kind of like a cornerstone of everything. And so when I was talking 2 weeks ago about like that level up training that I can go over in detail if you want me to on here, it doesn't take long to explain. So if you need me to, by all means, you can let me know in the chat. I was thinking around things and incentives that would drive home and remind the team, and especially the leaders, of flipping those cards. And so 2 things. First of all, I might as well just show you. I'm in my office. So let's take the laptop. I don't really need to. Okay. So 2 separate things. So first of all, this, you don't have to be as extra as me, okay? But Louis Vuitton came out with a collection called the Game On collection. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, come on. Because you can run contests and do whatever around it. So like, I'll just like open one of these. I bought every single thing possible. Shoes, bags, whatever. And again, like, don't feel like you need to do things as extra as me. I know I'm very extra and gifts are my love language. So I'm trying to open it with one hand. Oh my God, this is... Welcome to Jessie Lee's Mastermind. So like, as an example, these are luggage tags, like with the spades, right? So like little, not even little incentives. This is like kind of big. I got, like I said, shoes, there's shirts, there's bags. I bought all of it so we can do contests around that. And then if you're like, that is just way too extra, Jessie Lee. I know, guys, I know. Welcome to my brain. With that level up training that I was talking with you guys about, I had 20 trainers that had volunteered to train either $0 to $600, $600 to $1,000, $1,000 to $2,000 a month, $2,000 to $5,000 a month. And then all of the trainers, and I can go through that if you need me to, I just got these. Now I got these online and I found a coupon code. So they only ended up being like $150 a piece, but they're these huge Queen's cards, and then for the boys, I got the King's cards, canvases. And obviously, like I said, it's the theme currently of our team. So all of these trainers are going to have these gigantic Queen's cards in their home offices. Just, a reminder to kind of anchor them back into their business, because I am at a point, like I said, where in my business, it's definitely go time. It's definitely not, my company's too new, the whole company's only been around 6 years. Our team's only been around 3.5. It's just not nap time. So that's our theme right now. And that has been really, really huge. And along with the Christmas in July, I've totally stole from Ann Fisher, rolling that out to those core group of leaders. They're running with it. They're organizing stuff with it. And I think a lot of it is going back to speaking to a theme in the business, and then also speaking, of course, to their love languages. And then that's the next thing I want to talk about. So we're all big leaders here. I would highly suggest, if you don't already have your core group, coming up with your core group. Like, who is your inside circle, inside of your team? So I have I like that, my Crown 12. That's cool. I like that there's a title for them. So now I will feel like I need to take a note and make a better name than Empire Trainers. So hold please, let me learn from Ann Fisher really fast. We need a better title. Hold on. So Crown 12. I like that. Okay. So I won't call them Crown 12, I promise, but I'm going to go ahead and steal that. So we need a better name. So we have our official training core. And this group is everything. And I think one of the things that we are probably not that great at in general, or maybe I'm just speaking to myself, is delegating things. I think it is overall maybe not our biggest strength, probably because in order, I think, to get to the levels of success a lot of us have, or all of us have for that matter, it takes a certain type A personality a lot of the time. It takes that driver. It takes a bit of that control freak. It takes somebody who has a ton of accountability for themselves. They're not all frontline, no. But those trainers, they are the heartbeat of what I'm doing. Today I said, hey guys, I have a break from 11 to 11:30. Can we jump on a quick call? I want to put together this Christmas in July because I think we need to start getting graphics done right now so we can roll it out. Tonight, I want to announce it, and we need to collaborate. And very intentionally, they are for sure the most loyal people, and their loyalty is rewarded. So I don't know how you want to do that, whether like whatever. I don't know what you like. Again, I don't want to keep giving you crazy psycho ideas because clearly I'm a little out there with my incentives and my whatever. But these are the only people really that I highlight. So if you look at my social media, they're the only people that I will actually reshare their story. So like it might look like I reshare other people's stories, but I actually screenshot other people's stories and I don't reshare. So what I'm actually doing is creating sort of this huge brand of, like I just said, loyalty is really rewarded in what we do. I learned it from Eric, obviously. I feel like a lot of stuff I do is learned from Eric, but the whole thing about the more your name comes out of Eric's mouth, the more powerful you get. He's talked about like the more he says your name, the more money you'll make. I adopted that in my own organization as well. So I don't de-edify anybody, but I almost overly, or like at the level they should be, I guess I should say, I edify the hell out of these people. Nearly every call, I try to say every single one of their names because there's only 10 of them. Like it's not that many people. I'm always referencing back to them. I'm always giving them credit for things they do. I put them in front of our team constantly. And then they're really my right-hand men on social, women mostly, there are men, but men and women all over social. So it's also great because when you reshare stuff, especially as your social media following gets bigger, what will happen is obviously some of those people who have been following you for a long time might join the people that you shared. And so I'm very intentional in my mind of, okay, like would I want them to join Brittany Anderson's team? Yeah. Like if they're not going to join me directly, would I want them on Brittany's team? Would I want them on Jenny's team? Would I want them on Bree's team? Would I want them on, now I'm listing like real people, like would I want them to join Roberto? Yes. Instead of, oh, well, I stumbled upon Susie Sally on, you bought her a gift. And so I clicked follow and then that, and then it, whatever. So keeping things really, really close to that. After 6 months, what I've been doing, because I've had this core group for a while, I actually just ask, hey, if you don't want to be a trainer currently, which maybe I'll call it like, I'm going to find a name. I won't steal your name ideas, but I'm definitely going to come up with a name. No hard feelings at all. Like literally at all. Feel free to just exit the chat. I just need to replace people because there's always people up and coming. And so like no hard feelings currently. Actually, I mentioned Brittany just because you guys know her, or most of you probably know her. But so Brittany and Jenny actually stepped away. Jenny has a newborn, and Brittany just relocated her whole life to Texas. So her whole life is like, but like both of them are still people I edify. It's more of almost like a phase out, and then they can come back in whenever they need to. And same thing though, just edify. I still just edify only those people and then build them up. And those are the people you see a lot of, like proximity, a lot of stuff like that. Now, something that's worked really well, I got this office. Oh my God, guys, it is it. If you don't have an office space, I hadn't had an office space since 2011, which is when I got fired from my full-time job. I got fired for having a poor work ethic. Can we all laugh together about that? Okay. So I got fired for having a poor work ethic in 2011. That was the last time I ever went to an office. And my life kind of went up in flames. Like my house flooded, blah, blah, blah. I got displaced basically. And I can no longer live in my friend's house. It's just chaos. It's an absolute zoo. So I was like, I'm getting an office building. And so I have named, and I don't know if you want to do it to the extreme again that I did, but I got this office building. And actually, I will tell you, renting stuff is really inexpensive right now just because of the economy. Like houses are going very fast. Renting places is really cheap. So like if I showed you, I won't show you the whole office, but like if I show you like even just this view, like that's where the Dallas Cowboys practice. For those of you who don't know, it's a completely panoramic view. Like it's huge. The sunset's right there, whatever. You can see the lake. You can see everything. It's really cool. Jerry Jones helicopter pads right there. Like whatever. It's really cool. I'm like up on the top floor and like, I don't know. I really like it. But a couple of things have happened. First of all, I basically said, you can only come to Empire headquarters. We call it headquarters. We don't even call it the office, which I don't know. I just think it's cool, right? Oh, God, I love that. And I'll answer your question for sure, of course. But I said you can only come to headquarters if you're new, if you hit core rank that month. And then if you've been in business for a year or longer, you need to be rank 4, which is about $20,000 in sales a month. So it's like, it's creating this exclusivity, which has helped me scale my business a lot lately, guys. I think I heard it in the mastermind, like do more things where you kind of create some distance between you without creating distance where people are like, she's an untouchable. And so this was one of those things. I'm like, oh, you can come to headquarters, but you cannot come in headquarters. So like you can come downstairs to the lobby. And so it's already just create almost like a different standard, and people are pushing, like, I swear I'm going to hit MVP. I'm brand new. Can I come up? Can I come up? No, you can't come up. Like you have to be whatever. And it's almost like this level of ownership. People are really excited to see it. They keep seeing different car earners come through and like kind of tour the place and see the pool and see whatever. But like I said, I just think maybe more of us should look into that, because even mentally for me, there's just something about getting in the car. And I mean, guys, we've been trained on this 100 times, but I never did it for a decade. Okay. So like, let me just preach to my little choir for a second. I know we've been trained on this before, but like, I never did it. So there's something different about getting in the car, and I drive this. It's currently 15 minutes down the road. It's about to be 45 seconds down the road because I just got an apartment around the corner. But something about getting in the car, getting in a different building, getting in a space where you're specifically working. And I got to tell you, okay, showing people what is possible is something I think we all need to get better at as leaders. Without being braggy and obnoxious, like showing them what is possible, showing them the level of time freedom that we actually do have. Even those of us who are in just a sprinting state right now, I still know I have more time freedom than anybody that's in a job or anybody that's doing whatever else. So however you want to show that, I think it's really important to show that and let people get on board with kind of that vision and stretch their vision. The thing I also realized that I did not know, and this might be the one thing that convinces some of you to get a space, like I assumed people knew how much I worked. Okay, y'all are laughing, which means you know exactly where I'm going with this, okay? Your people, I swear some people think that you like crossed your fingers and prayed to whatever you believe in, and that like they're like, well, John just got lucky. Well, Melissa got lucky. Beth literally got lucky. Like they don't understand. They don't see what you do. And so I've been showing me getting up, coming to the office, getting in the office at 8 a.m, and then working all day, and then showing them, oh guys, okay guys, it's midnight, normal work day, turning the lights off, and I walk out. Okay, hey guys, now I'm at the post office dropping off trials. I know it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, but like, hey, this is normal. They don't know. Like people are messaging me, oh my God, like team members, and they're not overwhelmed with it. They're just like, oh, that's what it takes. Because when we're in our houses and it looks like, you know, oh, it's snack time at 11, or it's like, you know, lunch at 1, oh, it's, you know, phone calls by the pool. I think that if we're going to avoid summer slumps or whatever it is, I just think we need to show people more of what we're actually doing. So whatever that looks like for you, I would encourage you to do more of that. Speaking of summer slumps, something I just did a call on that maybe you can steal this idea and do it with your teams this week is I went on oh my God, Brian, yes, I'm going to touch on that in a second because you just spoke about stuff. I did a whole training last week about how this is the time of the year we take market share. So most of my trainings are very tactical. You've probably realized that by now, but like most of my trainings are really tactical. Do this, do this, do this, you get this. Do this, do this, do this, you get this. Here's your TikTok training. Here's your Instagram training. Here's your Facebook training. Here's your follow-up training. Here's your recruiting training. Here's your sales training. Here's your mindset training. Here's your vision training, like tactic, tactic, tactic. And I just like went in on them last week. Like it was one of my only ever hype calls. So the team was like, who is this? Like, we don't get hype calls from Jessie Lee. And I was like, who's going to get market share? I just kept saying that. I'm like, that was like my language. Like, who's going to get market share? Who's going to get market share? And I just talked. I was real about it. I'm like, you know, I took a lot from obviously our mastermind here where Eric was giving campaign ideas, like who's going to get the most in-person contacts at the pool, who's going to go on vacation, and who's going to be the first to 10 new ads to our ad tag message group. And I really went into them like, our company's growing. However, we want to lead the front there. Like, we want to be the team. I mean, we are the team, but like, I just want to destroy everyone. Like, I just really want to destroy everyone, like in a really loving way, because we get ownership pools. So I hope they're not destroyed, but I hope they're like, okay. Like positive destruction. I guess that would be what I'm looking for here. Okay, Kat's smiling. The rest of you are scared. That's fine. But anyway, so I just went on this whole like 40-minute rant about, let's get market share. Let's really show up in summer. We're going to do a campaign. We're going to do Christmas in July. Big things are coming. Do y'all want incentives? And then I set a goal that is a little nuts, to be honest. And here's the thing, like, I think a lot of us, if we're being honest, we set very comfortable goals that we pretend are not comfortable. Right? Like, we set goals that we're totally aware that if we push like 3 days of the month, we can hit them. Like if we just show up a little bit, we'll do it. And I just think it's a mindset shift that if we're going to push our profession forward, we need to be the ones that have the mindset of, are we setting our daily methods of operation inside of our comfort zone? Or are we setting our daily methods of operation around the vision of where we actually want to go? And I had that conversation with only my top leaders, because there's a lot of them who I'm like, there is no reason you've been sitting at 10,000 a month for as long as you've been sitting at 10,000 a month. Like, what are you doing every day? And where did you get those ideas that should be your daily method of operation? Like, who set that goal? Was it your comfort zone, or was it where you actually want to be in your future? And something about saying that, it seemed like it really hit a lot of them. And they realized, oh my God, like, it's totally my comfort zone. And so then they're showing up, they're doing their bare minimums. They're celebrating their minimums like it's their maximum. I think a lot of us probably have that in our organizations. I hope to God I'm not alone on that. And I think it has to start with us. So I gave them a very big goal this month that it doesn't even really make sense. If all the stars align, it could happen. I believe it'll happen. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is, right? It's possible. It's just going to take everyone running their faces off. And so it's been all hands on deck, but it's been a lot more like, just to reiterate what I said about showing them more of what it actually takes, showing them more of what I'm also willing to do and what I'm willing to put in. And something I never really do, and I just started doing it this month, is I actually showed them my numbers. So you guys get a good idea of my numbers because Eric talks about it. But to me, I always had this thing like, oh my God, it is going to scare the crap out of my team. And I don't mean like my money numbers. They know I'm a multimillionaire. They're not stupid about that. But like, they didn't know that in the first week of June, I recruited 67 people with a big kit. Like, they didn't know. And I didn't know until our, the numbers guy, whatever that title is in the company, y'all know what I'm talking about, like the data dude, whatever it is. I love that, Brian. I'm gonna copy and paste that in my own notes. Boop, 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 boop. Thank you. See, I love this. We take notes together. Yes. I told them, I said, so the whole team recruited 1,000 people last month. I recruited 227. Explain that. What are we doing, guys? In the first week of the month, I recruited 67 people. The entire team recruited 94. What's up with that? Like, I just kind of, and I said it nicer than that. That was a little aggressive. Okay. I just kind of like, it was softer than that. But there was something to that where I leave myself off leaderboards. I don't show them how many customers I'm getting, because I kept thinking, oh my gosh, like if they see that, maybe they're going to get a little disenfranchised. And as soon as I posted it for the first time ever the other day, the amount of messages of Thank you for showing us your personal volume. Thank you for showing us your personal recruits. You're showing us what's actually possible. Thank you. Now I understand why you TikTok 6 times a day. Now I understand why you post and go live so often. I just thought you liked to be on social media, right? Now they get it. And so there's also something there where I feel like when we're leading the pack, and especially during summer, our big kit is $997, Ursula. And then tax and shipping. So there's something about when you lead the pack and you set the pace, it's not that they can't keep up with me, right? Just because if somebody comes close, I'm gonna figure out how to turn it up even more, right? But it's giving them something to chase. And when I'm giving them something to chase, again, I understand this is just a stage of my life. So I don't want any of you who are not in a running stage right now to feel at all like less than or something. That's not my intention. It's showing people what they can do and what can happen if it's 10 years of consistency, which is where I am right now. And that's been huge. So like I showed them that last month I sold $240,000 myself, regardless of the team. And they were like, what? Like that's rank 8, you know, like, which is, there's only 10 ranks, right? And it just made them go, whoa. And the other thing, I can only say this to a group of my friends like you. How many of you feel like some people on your teams, like they listen to really bad advice from achievers, not leaders? Or is that just me? Is that just a Jessie Lee problem? Or is that like an everybody problem? Please. Oh my God. Okay, this is one thing that I'm just so over. Okay, so if you don't, well, let me give you another tactical thing that's really cool. Everybody write down mixtiles.com, M-I-X. They have a sale right now. Mixtiles.com, mixtiles.com. Okay, so I don't know how many of you have seen this in my office again, but these are mixed tiles. See what those are? So they're not all up yet, but there's 137 of these. Okay, these are car earners. Well, okay, those people, that wall has to be filled in more, like with all of them. This is just car earners. So these people do 50,000 a month, but I need to put up like the other 80. So they got to go over here. Okay, these are 100K champs. Okay, so these people's, their business does $220,000 in sales a month or more. And then the top up there, those are the rank 8s. So those are the biggest leaders. Now, the cool thing with these is they're non-damaging on your walls. So I'll just show you really fast. So like, let's say this girl promotes, this can just come right off and I can move her up to the next wall. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen this of mine, but this is like a huge, huge recognition piece. If they drop rank, I take them down. I move them in their respective places every month. So it keeps people super, super honest. But people also go crazy for, yeah, that's right. Okay. Rakan's like, what the hell? I don't care. All right. You're not sitting on my wall when you're not hitting rank. Get out of here. All right. And I do intentionally position the people that like, because I go live all the time, I intentionally position people based off of their personal volume as well. So like, again, just as an edification purpose. Anyway, where was I going with that? Right. I know exactly where I was going with that. So this whole thing where I think people are getting some bad advice from the wrong people. That's the whole team. Those are the car earners, the whole team. So all 137 will be up there as soon as I'm done putting them up. So what I've been finding is I'll be training on things that obviously work or whatever. And then somebody, like, I won't show you who, but there are some people up here on the top who hit the freaking network marketing lottery. Okay. I just love those people. Don't you just love those people? So, getting $60, $70, $80,000 a month and just sitting at home telling their teams to go sit in hammocks by the beach. Literally. This was one of the trainings I overheard. I just manifested this life. And if you just put your phone down, it'll come to you. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, will tell you, if you are not yet posting things like personal volume and you are on this mastermind call and you say that you want to scale your business, I will encourage you to show people who's actually building the business. If there's nothing else you learn from this Jessie Lee Mastermind today with Eric Worre, like that has fixed so many of my issues, because there are in particular 3 leaders up there. Well, achievers. That's another part of the training. Let me write that down. I really want to train you guys on that really fast. There are achievers up there who I almost felt like I was battling. I would never de-edify them, but it would drive me nuts. Like emotionally, it was getting very draining for me to see their teams on a call almost looking confused when I'm like, hey, did we do our tip of the day? Hey, did we do our XYZ amount of posts? Hey, there's a sale. Are y'all look alive? Look alive. Oh, well, Christina told us that today's beach day and today's hammock day and today's bike in the park day. I'm like, today's sale day. What are you talking about? And then I finally got bold enough to post personal volume. And I've only done it for about 6 weeks now. And it has made a massive shift, not only in our organization, but also in those organizations. Because people who have been stuck because they can't figure out why working your business for 1 hour a day is not building their business are going, wait a minute. These empire trainers, because I don't have a good name yet, right? That Jessie Lee always talks about, they're the ones selling the most. Look at those recruit numbers. Look at those sales numbers. Oh my gosh. Like they are all shifting and following the systems even closer, which of course we know the systems are only systems if they actually duplicate, if everyone knows them, and if everyone does it. Eric Worre. I love when he comes out of my mouth. I feel like such a good student. Okay, so that has been massive. And so I wouldn't be so scared when you're posting those leaderboards. That's another thing. I know some of you might think data is a weakness of yours, or you're not good at numbers, or you're not good at reports. I would like to give you a little assignment that if you're not good at it, find somebody in your team or in your company, maybe corporate office, who can walk you through reports. Because what I track explodes. And if I know the actual numbers of everything, even if the report confuses me, and I know I can get, his name's Craig, he's the number guy, I still don't know the position title. If I can get Craig on the phone to say, show me this report, I need to see who has the biggest growth, because I need to edify somebody on this week's training or whatever. It's made a massive shift. Know your numbers. Don't guess your numbers. Like, this goes back to changing our profession, but the more we treat this like a real business, because it is a real business, more people take it seriously like a real business. Know the numbers of core ranks on your team. Do you know how many people hit core rank? I do. Do you know how many hit this week? I do. Some of you were on here a little earlier, and I was literally telling my assistant, I was like, you've got to pull, some of you heard me say it. I'm like, you need to pull that report. It needs to be posted every single day. Like Rakan and Brian heard it for sure. Like, I'm like, every day. I need that report pulled every day. Like, I know exactly, like I track everything. So I know how far ahead of last month we are, not like by a guess. I could tell you to the dollar. Well, today is what day of the month is it? Today's the 16th of June. And on May 16th, I mean, I don't have it right now, but like I could pull up the spreadsheet and be like, we're ahead by literally this percent. Or, okay, we say that the goal is this crazy goal. We got to push it. We've got to do this more. We got to do that more. We got to do that more. And a lot of utilizing your data also teaches people then how they can use it to scale their business as they turn into bigger leaders. Okay. So back to this whole thing. Yes. Then they know who to follow. That's my whole thing, is like, you want your people following the right leaders, the right example. You want that. Right? So like, okay, so Kat's asking, how many do you have at core rank? Thousands, hundreds, dozens? Are those the ones on the wall? This is not core rank. These are car earners. These businesses are doing at least $50,000 US a month. Like the top organization is doing like 1.9 million a month right now. So almost 2 million a month.
Like my executives, like we don't have like car bonuses, but we have like a lifestyle bonus. So that'd be the people, the executives who are earning that bonus would be those people that are on your wall, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then core rank, we had 317 last month. So core rank for us is, it's not just it's not just a sales amount. You have to, there's structure to it. Like Eric Worre says, your core rank has tested. Structure. So our core rank is for customers. You have to sell a total of 25 boxes of product full price, which ends up being about 2,000 BV. So about $4,500 in sales or something like that, depending on what the product is, depending if there's a sale, blah, 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 blah. And then they get a $500 cash bonus on top of commissions. So they actually it's a little over $1,000 easily a month for core rank for us. It's just the rank that makes a lot of sense on our team or in our company. So those numbers though, there is something, again, I'm just trying to give you things that have really shifted my business, like really moving needles, like little micro things. And then you can like obviously take what works for you and you can throw away everything else you don't like that I say. But I stopped using the word leader for people that are achievers. Maybe 5 months ago. And it changed everything. I started telling people on calls of the whole team, there are brand new people on this team that are better leaders than some people who are achieving, very honestly, because what is leadership? And then we did a training, of course, on like leadership is a verb, leadership is action, leadership is this, leadership is that, leadership is how you show up, leadership, whatever. And taking that pressure off of the new people who felt like, oh my gosh, I'm not a leader because I don't have a big check. And then showing them there's a difference between achiever and leader. I don't even think it was a small move on the needle. I think that's one of the bigger things I did, right? And then I also ended up getting more help because people were like, oh, a leader shows up. A leader will ask Jessie Lee how I can help her. A leader will make it easier when she needs a spreadsheet done. A leader would get on the call early and play music so Jessie Lee doesn't have to. A leader would da-da-da-da. And so I have all of these new people, actually leading and developing into what I want to see personally. We all have different definitions of leader, of what a leader is, into more of what I want to see for the culture that aligns with me in my business. So that's been a really big shift for sure. Okay, another tactical one that's worked very well. Do you guys want to recruit more? Like, I don't know if you want to recruit more, but like, no one wants to recruit except for Jen. Jen's smiling. Chris Brown, the mayor, is here and he wants to recruit more. Okay. Yvonne wants to recruit more. Okay, cool. So, question, my friends. Do any of you do team trainings every week? 1, 2, pick a few, 99, 1,000 of them. Anyone feel like you do 1,000,000 of them? Okay. So I beta tested this all month last month with my European team because it's kind of like a weird time. The Zoom doesn't max out. It usually has like 500 people on it. I'm like, okay, let me see how well this will work because I feel like we, even as the best leaders network marketing, we speak only our recruiting language. More often than not. So like if you're the super fun personality, you might be only attracting like the people who see you on social media as fun and vibrant and whatever. And then maybe these aren't like business builders and it's getting frustrating to you, right? And then maybe you're super, super driven and you're recruiting a ton of like super bossy people. Maybe you're super emotional on social media and vulnerable and beautiful and open and honest and whatever. And you're recruiting like a ton of like mush balls who are like, I swear someday I'm going to build a business. Right. And then some of you, maybe it's like you're recruiting all of the analytical, like, no. Once I figure it all out, then I'm going to build a business, and you're just like, I swear this is just getting too much. It's getting too much. Like my team looks exactly like me. And I'm like this echo chamber of whatever. And then, of course, that ripples into other organizations. Like you've got the team that's all aggressive and screaming at each other. And then you got the team that all cries on Zooms together. They're talking about crystals and shoving things in their bras and like whatever else. Y'all, please tell me you have these teams too. Okay. Because golly, I've got a team that all they talk about is like praying and howling at the moon. All right. But anyway, so like, okie dokie. And then they cry together and they sing Kumbaya in their hammocks and I don't know, whatever. So not for me, but if it's for you, that's cool too. So I don't know where it came into my little brain, but I was like, what if they saw how diverse the team actually is and how well trained the team actually is? Right? And so I opened up my Europe Zoom for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's a slower paced call because it's translated into 7 languages, which also allowed for different diversity too. But I even speak slower on there to begin with, and there's a pause, right, for translation. And we use Zoom Translate, by the way, for those of you who don't know that. You can just set your Zoom room up to be a different Zoom code. And then there will be like a globe on the bottom right or something. You click on the globe and you can literally set up whatever. So I do translated calls in probably 80% of my calls that I do actually. And some of them, we have translators who can do it simultaneously and I don't ever have to stop. And then some of the languages are just longer languages. So like that call was 7 different languages. We just slow it down. So you guys don't know about this? Oh my God. Thank you, Jesus, that I am on here for you. Okay, here I serve you. I serve all of you. Here we go. Log into your Zoom account. And like in the search bar, type in translate or translation. Yeah. People break off into rooms. Like you literally can see everybody. But like, let's say Yorev is speaking whatever language. I will see him translating me. So I know when to stop and start. But then everyone else will hear I know you're German. I'm just saying like whatever, like language, but like so like if you're in the German room, you will hear me very quietly. Like it'd be like, you'll hear me really quietly. And then Yorev would translate into German, Dankeschön, right? Like, but it's in all these different languages. So anyway, I didn't know you guys didn't know about that. Okay, well, y'all go get your Zoom room set up. Okay, millionaires. Wow. Okay, dokie. Don't you want to build international? Come on now. No wonder why I'm getting all the international recruits. Now it makes sense. Why am I helping you like this? I must love you. Okay. Anyway, I digress. Back to training. So I invited, and I would challenge you to do that, to try this week and see if it helps you with recruiting. So about 8 hours before my call, I opened up the Zoom room, or I messaged our translator chat and our European leadership chat. And I said, and I was going to do it anyway, of course, but you got to let them have buy-in. And I said, hey, I was just wondering, do you guys think it would be useful if we opened up today's training to leads and let them see how we have people winning and then they see how we train? And they're like, oh my God. So that call that usually has 500 people, literally, boom, in less than 8 hours was a maxed call. And we recruited so many people from it. And we didn't even pitch them on it, is the crazy thing. What I found is that a lot of people are sick of network marketers recruiting them and then literally joining the witness protection program. Like, how many of you have recruited somebody who goes, I signed up with so-and-so and then I never heard from them again. There was no training. I had to figure it all out on my own. It was like that one little confidence drop just by letting them get like a little bit of Wizard of Oz behind the curtain just for an hour. And it was half translated. So it was a half hour. And I start all my calls the same way, which is 2 people who one just hit core rank for the first time and one struggled to hit core rank, tell their testimonial in 3 minutes or less. That's how my calls all open. Then a host takes over and does a training. On the European call, because it's translated. They have until the half hour and then I take over. On the American calls, they have till 15. So they get 15 minutes on an only English call. Does that make sense? Everyone following like my thought process with that? Okay. We did not address the guests, except I came on and said, hey, if any of you are on here and you're just kind of checking it out, awesome. We are going to run the call exactly how the call always goes. Nothing is going to be special for you. This is just an inside sneak peek. And if this feels like something you want to do, if this feels like the kind of business that you're looking for, get back to whoever invited you on here. This is just special for this week only, just a little inside sneak peek on what actually happens on the Empire. So you can actually see what our training is like. It went crazy. Like I personally recruited, 40 people the one day we did it, like Belgium, Netherlands, UK, Ireland, mostly where mine came from. Like it went bananas. It was that one little shift where people were like, holy smokes. So we did that last month, only on the Europe call, but we did it every week last month and we exploded in recruiting. So if your Zoom lines aren't maxed out already, I think it's a great idea. Obviously they max at 1,000, so I can't do it on my English calls, but it just, that little shift, it made a huge, huge, huge difference. Okay, one other thing with recruiting really fast. Do any of you run any kinds of extra incentives ever on top of your recruiting? Like, do you have a cash bonus, like do you have a bonus or anything like that attached to when somebody recruits somebody? Just out of curiosity. Okay, cool. So I only did it for 2 days, but for 2 days, our company, they waived the membership fee. So like we have packs that are $1,000 and then there's a $49 fee, or packs that are $500 and there's a $49 fee. They waived the $49 fee to $1 for 2 days. And so, but our commissions remain the same on the actual pack itself. And so I said, anybody you recruit, you have to track it, but you can pick either cash, money from the gear store, because we have like gift cards we can give people, for like it's called Prove It Gear. And then I said, or free product. So if you want free product, whatever, for every single pack that you sell, I'm going to double your commissions on it. So, and I did this only with my frontline Kat, just so you know, because that would have been a really pretty penny for the way or whatever. But they went crazy. And the cool thing about this was it was like there was that sale, if you will, that promo ran at the end of May through the company, and I didn't do anything extra on top of it. When they brought it back and people were like a little burned, like, you know how people are, they get a little burned out. I'm like, no, I need to pour gasoline on this biatch. Okay. Like that is when I brought it in, and it was only for 48 hours. They had to track it. They had to send me their PayPal or their whatever they wanted. And then I paid out, and I did end up paying out a lot of money, but like so worth it. So worth it. All these like, oh my gosh. And then if you're not already running incentives in general, as the world starts to open, I've never seen people so excited to leave their houses. So just to give you some ideas, again, I don't know everybody's different check numbers. It doesn't matter, because you can do things obviously on a budget and however you want to do it. You can make your incentive smaller or bigger. But I mean, you just saw the stars right there. They do concerts and whatever. Half of you have had network marketing events right there in that venue. But I live in a really fun area. Dallas is 20 minutes down the road. Frisco is really where it's at, like whatever. We obviously have sports teams. I'm sure wherever all of you live, there's some kind of sports teams. I rented, and you can just call and like find out pricing wherever you want to. But I bought an entire suite at American Airlines Center for a Ricky Martin and Enrique Iglesias concert. And then I bought it for the Dan and Shay concert. Like I wanted to do two very different things to be like more inclusive or whatever. And then I rented, and then I got a suite at the Texas Rangers game, at a Houston Astros game or whatever. So for my frontline, I rented an Airbnb here in Dallas, because again, they're not allowed at HQ. Rented an Airbnb for the weekend of September 12th. And so everyone who wins this contest is going to a suite at the Rangers Stadium and the Ricky Martin and Enrique Iglesias concert. All they'll have to do if they win is get themselves down here. And like, I have never seen people run so hard to have quality time or receiving gifts, or obviously they know they're going to get physical touch hugs. They know they're going to get, they know all of it. Every love language is getting hit. I've never seen people run for stuff like that before. And I've ran trips before. So I would just encourage you, if you haven't done it before, if you're hesitant to do it before, I think, again, most of us need to think, how do we impact more lives in this season? We're all very successful. Like, I know we live in our little microcosm of network marketing, and it's really easy to compare yourself to other network marketers or other companies or other compensation plans, or, oh my God, Jesse Lee makes this much, or blah, blah, blah makes that much. Like, we are stupid successful. You wouldn't have been able to afford $25,000 a year for a mastermind if you weren't stupid successful compared to most of the world. So like, breathe that in for a hot second. But outside of that, how small we are playing, I don't think we even realize it sometimes. And I know Eric says that to us all the time, but I do think it is our responsibility as basically the ambassadors of network marketing to stretch ourselves outside of those comfort zones, to do things that we are really tired, but we're going to do it anyway. And really focusing, another thing that I've focused a lot on lately, and I don't know the first time I heard somebody say this, it might've been Jeff Roberti, but he was talking about how it's great when you're on stages, and it's so much better when you have those moments where your people are on stage, and your people are achieving. And what's been so cool is, like, you might've seen, I want to explain this, and then I'm going to stop talking to you guys if you need clarification on any of the stuff I just like vomited at you. I know that was like a lot of tactics you can go take, but I love giving you stuff that's working really, really well for me. But I intentionally did the Mexico trip the way I did the Mexico trip. So if you don't know, I just got back from Mexico 2 days ago. I told everyone I was going from the 10th to the 17th. It was a lie. I knew it was a lie all along. Okay. So I'm gonna explain why it wasn't like a bad lie. It was like it was for edification, I promise. So I knew I was going, so I knew that there was an event. 3 of our leaders that are up here on the top area, 3 of our leaders were going to be putting on a retreat in Mexico. 1 is a Mexican leader, 2 are American leaders. And so I knew I was going to go. And I told them, oh yeah, I'll be there. What are the dates? They said 10th through 17th. Then I found out that an Italian team was flying in. Because I think you guys know this, but Prove It bought Visalis. October will be 2 years ago. So we bought Visalis. So we acquired a massive Italian team. Like, that was really all we got out of it. But that was great for me and my business because I have a big Italian team now too. So anyway, so we bought Visalis. I found out that team was literally going to be in Cancun at the same hotel that I had rented the 10th through the 17th. So I booked a flight for the 12th, but I told everyone I was going on the 10th. Like, do you remember when Eric got on? Well, he's done it a few times. He's gone on calls and he's told us, like, what if you don't show up? Like, who will step up to the plate? Right? Now, I didn't just not show up on them. Like I just said on the 10th, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't actually come in today. So can you guys got to take it. You got to take the full day of training. I'm not going to be able to make it. Like, I won't be able to do it. Sorry. And then on the 11th, I was like, oh my gosh, you won't believe it. Crazy stuff going on at HQ, a little bit behind on the goals for the month. I'm stuck here. I'm moving my flight till tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow. On the 12th, I did not land on the 12th until 6:00. I was like, I'm here. Y'all want to come get me? So then they scrambled in a good way. Like, you watched leadership in action to come get, Mama Shark is what they call me. Come get Mama Shark from the airport. They took me to a quick little Mexican get together, like whatever. did photos. They were breaking boards. I was there for maybe 2 hours and I was like, I'm really tired. I'm sorry. Like travel just takes it out of me. It was an hour and a half long flight. I was fine. Okay. I'm like, you guys know, I'm a little tired. If you could just take me back to the hotel. And I was like, oh, you're going out to go eat and do, oh, that's great. I'm just going to sleep. Then I actually went and spent time with the other Italian team. It's all by intention, right? Like they saw everything like, oh my gosh, we have to figure out our own leadership, right? And then the next day I got up and I went and I trained them all day for 8 hours. They were shaking and sobbing and crying and 80 people in this huge Mexican Airbnb, like they were losing their mind. Oh my God, are we going to see you tomorrow? And then this is where it was really cool. I literally said, no, I'm going to go home. Because do you see how good your leaders are? You don't need me. You need to follow them. And it was like this huge, for all those people, all like 80 people, and also those 3 big leaders, like it was almost like a handing of the torch. And so I don't know what that can look like in your business because I'm not involved in any of your businesses like that. But who can you start taking some of the onus off of yourself and really letting people that you do trust that are in your crown 12 or whatever show you how good they are? Because I think that when we're in management mode and we're not in stretching our goals mode and we're not in that stage 1 activity of putting in the new recruits, putting in the new customers, developing new leaders that are closer to us in the business, in the structure, I think that's when it starts to slowly unravel. And I think I could be wrong, but I think that's when sometimes checks start to drop or volume starts to drop. And just taking that ownership over what role am I in today? What can I do to drive the business forward? And then who can I take the responsibilities of whatever, pass it off because those leaders are fully capable. Those things have just like exploded my business later. I swear, I thought we were going to collaborate more on here. And then you got me talking. I didn't even get to check my Instagram for ideas on what I'm supposed to train on. But does anyone need any clarification on any of that? Because I know I just gave you like 1,000 things you can do. But hi, thanks for letting me ramble.
What's going on, Jess?
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Pretty good. I have a bunch of, leaders that are doing well, but a lot of them get content. That's my biggest issue right now. I don't have a problem recruiting, but I think Eric kind of touched on it a little bit when we were all at Mastermind at this place, and a lot of them are spoiled. And now I need a few people to step up to another level of leadership so I can go recruit more, and take a little pressure off myself. I don't have a problem. My close ratio is ridiculous because people just want to talk and want to be around you. So I don't have to worry about that. But people that are actually going to do something, you don't want to waste time with, I can enroll 90 people in a month, but if 80 don't do anything, it's just dead weight. And I'm just trying to figure out how to recruit up more or tap into those gyms in my organization. And I've been given assignments. That assignment actually took me over to making over $1 million last year. Eric gave me an assignment last August to give assignments, and it worked. But right now I'm kind of like doing very, very well personally, and a few people in my organization doing well, but now it's time to bring new blood in that's going to kill it. And my existing leaders aren't recruiting as much because they're comfortable. They're just comfortable. And, I don't know income claims, but some of my leaders are making $30,000, $40,000 a month, and I hear from them like every other week.
I can really good advice on that because, so anybody can collaborate, of course, but this is something that I think is really powerful. Bye, John. Love you. I think that's more common than we think. And everybody has a different level of whatever that like thermometer is. And so what I find to be my job as the leader is I have to keep pushing the birds out of the nest. Because when a bird gets pushed out of the nest, nobody ever talks about how they freaking fly home. Okay. They leave that part of the damn analogy out. All right. Oh, little birdie flew. Yeah. He also flew back into the damn nest. Okay. And like tucked himself under his mom's wing right all over again. Okay. So that's actually what happens to birds, but whatever. So what I've been doing is I've been finding ways to make them uncomfortable. Now, the only way this works, Chris, and everybody, is if you have good relationships. So if you see the way I interact with my leaders, like if you look at my social media for 2 seconds, you see it. Like, I know these people. I know their families. I spend extra time with them, whatever. So let me give you an example of someone on our team who, it's a really cool story. Anyway, she was a drug addict. I didn't realize it, but when I placed 2 people under her 7 years ago in my first network marketing company, I got her a $10.34 check, and she's been sober ever since that day because somebody believed in her. Like, so cool. Oh, I love it. So anyway, she's also one of my best friends now, but anyhow, she's up there on the, her team's doing like $260,000 a month now. But she does that thing where she gets imposter syndrome, which is actually what a lot of these people are probably dealing with, honestly, which is why they don't talk to you that often, because they don't think they deserve it. Like, there's a lot of psychological stuff going in here. So the more you know them, though, the more you can push them. So the girl's name's Sydney. So Sydney, a lot of the time, she'll be stuck at like I remember when she was stuck at $3,000 a month, and then she was stuck at $5,000 a month, and then she was stuck at $10,000 a month, and then she was stuck at $15,000 a month, and then she was stuck at $18,000 a month. I'm like, so I give her things to do to spend money on. Okay. So I give her opportunities. So one example could be those people that are making 30, 40 grand a month. Have you made them? And I really mean it like that. Like, you're convincing, or you wouldn't be a top earner. If we're just being honest here. Have you made them join this mastermind? For the simple fact that it costs basically their monthly check. And it it doesn't have to be this. Like, because some of them that might not resonate. So one of the first things that pushed Sydney is she was putting a pair of my Gucci sunglasses on. And I don't know why, but Gucci sunglasses are like some of the most expensive ones. Why? Don't know. But like these big, crazy Gucci sunglasses. And she's like, oh my God, they look so cute on my face. I said, go buy a pair. No. I'm still paying off debt from my addiction. Like, I'm still paying off whatever. I said, I don't care. Go buy them. No. Yes. She went and bought them. And the next month she broke through a plateau. Then she's like, my dogs need a different house. My dogs, they need a bigger yard. I said, this is when she's stuck at like 12 grand or something a month. I said, go buy a house. No, or go rent a house in the, you need land. No. Go get a house. Well, then I'm going to have to pay rent on my apartment and rent on a house. I said, so then she started having to, I kept you get the point. Then she stalled again. Like I said, 18,000 or something. And I said, you need to come with me to Europe, because I'm about to go on tour in Europe. And I want her to be one of the trainers to come with me. I can't afford that. Starts crying. I can't afford that. I said, go book a plane ticket right now. You're going to Europe, and I want you to budget $10,000. $10,000. She doesn't need $10,000 for it, right? But I'm like, yes, $10,000, put it to the side right now. You don't have that money anymore. And this month she's going crazy. So the only way you can do that, though, is if you have that good relationship with people. She's not the only one I do that with. You see me moving people to Texas. It's the same thing. Like, Brittany was making, 40 grand a month and living in a house that cost $600 for her mortgage. I'm like, get the hell out of Arkansas. You're never going to be a millionaire in Arkansas. Get out of Arkansas. Where am I going to go? Texas sounds great. Here's a $700,000 house. Move in. You have to sometimes push them over and over and over and over and over. But look, the other thing is, you have to keep pushing you, because if they don't see you stretching, not to say you're not, I know you probably are, right? But they will listen to you more if you're leading by an example with that too. I don't know if that's useful, but it works really well.
Yeah, that's huge, because I'm at a point where, I'm sure you've heard, but I'm about to hit Stormy's title next month. And these people are intimidated to grow now. I need more people to step up, but that's the biggest issue. Maybe I need to grab some of my close friends and that are leaders and kind of run with them on a daily basis and I guess take things to a whole nother level. But I'm trying to give them more assignments to themselves. And they're just kind of going in witness protection program because they're making $500,000 a year. And that's not enough. I need more from them.
Right. So you've got to give them things that they resonate with, because the money's not enough, because they never expected to make $500,000 a year. We have to remember, like, one of my probably biggest keys to success is that I got terminated from my company. My first, I know it sounds so weird, but like, I got humbled. Like, I went right back to remembering what it was like to be terrified. Like, I got starving again, not just hungry. So those people, they never thought they were going to be millionaires, Chris. They thought, just like most people on the internet, this was some kind of scam, some kind of whatever. You've got to show them that so much more is possible. So what is the next level? I have the cars I have. I like cars, don't get me wrong. But when I got the Lamborghini and I like souped it up and I posted occasionally and whatever, people were like, because they knew Lisa Grossman didn't buy that for me. You know, like, they knew, like, oh my God. Like, you have to start pushing yourself too. Whatever the thing is that you're not buying for yourself, or the trip you're not taking for yourself, or the house you're not moving into for yourself, or the, like, and it doesn't have to be stuff you buy, by the way. Like, I put on my social media, I wrote a check for $20,000 last year for a charity, like, or not last year, or beginning of this year. Like, I just was like, like, wrote a check, whatever. I showed them when I paid $40,000 to pay for an international adoption. And I just, like, I showed them on social media. So, like, it doesn't have to be stuff, but like, what is that thing that you can do to show people, like, when you play this small, even though it doesn't seem small, you really can't serve the way you say you want to. Like, stuff like that makes a really big difference. So you got to push yourself, and then you got to push them. That's our job. At that level, that's our job. Lower levels, it's more like massaging them and telling them that you believe in them. I think. I know we're over time, but if anybody else wants any clarifying questions, again, I don't mind. I know some of us have to jet, but. Did you need to ask something, Kat, or did I answer it through my ramble?
I don't remember. Oh yeah. Okay. So you were talking about your 12 or your 10 people. What are your parameters around that? Like, I've got so top of our company is called senior directors. So I got my senior directors and I can think of them right off the top of my head. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're the people who are continuously growing and building. So like, what are those parameters that you're,
yeah. So, I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. Number one is loyalty. And I don't just mean loyalty to prove it. I mean loyalty to the empire. And I don't even mean loyalty just to the empire. I mean loyalty to Jesse Lee. It just is what it is. You don't like it? I didn't ask. Like, that's, I mean, I don't want to question who's in my house.
How do you determine that though? Just by their actions, or do you just straight up ask them?
And it's not like a quick thing. You're not going to be an empire trainer after 6 months. You're not going to be an empire trainer after a year. You're not. And it's like this big title. I'm actually getting them. I'll just tell you now, just because whatever, I think it's cool and you might think it's stupid, but whatever. They're going to have, they're getting trainer jackets, like bomber jackets that they'll wear like at events that literally will just say, like, I guess I won't call them empire trainers. Like, I'm coming up with a name now, but like, I'll be 00. And then based off of like whoever's top, whoever, whatever, who, like, the first one that I brought on was Brittany. So she'll be like 01. And then you get the point. Okay. Yeah. So it'll be like a bit. Yeah. So it's just something so many people want, but they have to show. Yeah. Letterman jackets. Show it.
My other question was, do you have people who would be able to then be in this later? Like, how do like?
Yeah. No, it always expands. So like, okay, because everyone's in different phases. So you do have to hit core rank every month. And these people are not anywhere near just core rank, just so you know. These are achievers and leaders. These are the people, like, I want you all to think about, who are the people that if you said, oh my God, like, my flight is whatever, like, I literally can't get on the call. Oh, doesn't matter, I got it. Oh my God, we need a new promoter training. Yeah, no worries. I got it on Tuesday nights. That's my skill set. Like, no stress, no fuss. You never have to think like, will they be there? You never have to double check in the back office. You don't have to type in Zoom. Is Angela here? No, not here. Great. I thought I could depend on her. No. People that without a shadow of a doubt, like the best way to explain it would be like, no, I don't have children, but who would you trust with your kids? Not like today. Like, who would you trust with your kids? Like, if you did not exist anymore for whatever reason, who would you be like, I like the way they lead. I like the way they speak. I like the way they do incentives. I like the way they show up. I like the way that they stay a student. I like the way that they're consistent. I like the way that they're loving. I like the way that they don't bark at people, whatever it is. Like, I like that they're patient, kind, whatever your personal core values are for your organization, which, oh my God, I'm so over time. Why do I do this? Okay, whatever. I can't help myself. There's so much I just want to keep.
I have one more question on that too. So are you cultivating that, or are you?
Yes, that's what I was going to say is like, what are your core values? Does your organization have core values? And if it doesn't, I don't know, guys, Google it. Okay, Google the importance of core values of an organization, because if it doesn't happen, anything, if anything is not in alignment with the core values of the empire, it doesn't happen. Like, I'll give you two of ours. Our two main core values are empathy and excellence. Empathy and excellence. And if you look at the diversity of my organization, the only reason it's so diverse is because everything I do leads with core value number one, which is empathy. So anybody who is not all encompassing, or I'm like, what? Or I have to question their character, or I see something weird on their social media, or whoa, not a shot of you being in front of our team. Because everything runs back to core values. If excellence is a core value of your organization, which it is, it's our number 2 core value. And I'm going to put a leader on a stage who's in a stage of their business where they're just cashing checks, and I'm going to edify that. Well, then I can't be shocked when the organization does not grow. So the trainers, I'm just going to keep calling them what I call them right now. The trainers are constantly, like I said, I messaged them at like 10:50. Hey, can we jump on a call at 11? They were all on. They pushed meetings. They prioritized the empire instead of prioritizing, oh, I've got like this one little whatever. I got like, they know priorities are never in conflict. Are we going to grow this thing? Are we going to be the dominant leading force in all of network marketing? If we say we're going to do that, we need a core group. And so that's what I look for. Now, like I said, there's different stages of people's lives. So every 6 months, I just touch base. And I'm like, you know, who want, because there's every week there's 4 calls that need a host. And they host for the whole month. And then there's like a running calendar. So everybody signs up. You know what I'm saying? So like, I need that core group in there, but I don't need 40 people in a chat, even if there's 40 super loyal people. So like I mentioned Brittany again, Brittany's in a different stage of her life right now. Her business is smoking. She's excellence. She doesn't have time to train right now because they're prepared trainings. If excellence is a core value again, you can't throw together a splattered training where you're just, no, it's prepared. Everything's prepared. So, they're not in trouble though. They can always phase back in. And then it also allows the timing, right? Of bringing new people in, you know, like, of course, like if I look at the wall, there's like, we just brought in, actually, you can't see them, but there's these people right over here. Their name's Mark and Renee Terry. They've been in business for 3 years, super loyal, crazy growth, like loving, kind, like all the things that I just said, And Renee actually reached out maybe 8 months ago and was like, I would love to be considered for an empire trainer eventually. If you wanted to like keep your eye on me. I'm like, yeah, appreciate that. Thank you. So it's like a bit of self-selection. And then I personally reach out when I'm like, we've got to bring more people in. We need more support. We're putting in, you know, maybe we're doing a level up training like I talked about. Maybe we're running a huge incentive. Maybe it's the Christmas in July thing. Maybe it's whatever. Like, again, like I said at the beginning of the call, so much of the reason I think I've got this oiled machine is I'm delegating, but I'm only delegating to people that I know are 100% in the spirit of everything I do. Like my robot was built by an Empire trainer. I was overseeing the project, but all of that was built by an Empire trainer. I double checked it all. Actually, it was 2 Empire trainers. But like, yes, there's always. Does that help?
No, it totally helps. I think that I'm in a stage, and I'm sure like we go in and out of these and flex in and out of these where, well, maybe not in stage, but I struggle with people get so comfortable. We're like family and like nobody's vying for a particular attention to like want to be one of those trainers when we're just so casual with each other. It's like, oh yeah, you can do it. Okay. You know, like there is no like leader. I kind of like have settled myself as the person who's like the partner and in this business. Like I'm nobody's leader. I'm not whatever. And I think that's gotten me into a place where there is no vying for a space like that. You know, we're all just kind of equals in all this. So,
I mean, but I'll just tell you, like, just cause I spent time with a couple of your big leaders here in Dallas, and I don't know your relationship with any of them, just so you know, but they talk very highly of you. So I'm going to guess you have good relationships with them. Yeah, one of them was like, oh, I see that Kat comments on your stuff. You must know her or whatever. They do look up to you. I would tell, like, at least that group does. Those people do.
And they are people who totally train and all that stuff. I guess maybe
they would love something like people. Like, I don't know if your company has a board. My company actually doesn't have a board. But like, think about the people who run for that.
Yeah.
Why? You know what I mean? Like, there's a different, just people, there are people who self-select and say, I want to be this. Give me something to run for. I think there's a reason we have ranks in network marketing, because competitive people will run for a rank, run for a title, run for the accolade, run for whatever. But we need the parameters. So what all of you need to do, like the assignment, would be set the parameters of what that level of excellence looks like.
Right.
Write it out for yourself. It doesn't need to look anything like mine, but like, what are those things? And then who embodies all those things? Not some of them. It's just like Eric's 3 traits, like willing, coachable, hungry. It's all 3. So what are the 5 things that person has to have to be in your inner circle?
Yeah. And that makes sense, because the person that you met, Abby with the pink hair, like she was the very first person when I opened my new team page and redid it all over again. She was the first person who jumped into train. Like she was in there hyping everybody up and all that other stuff when I was gone. So yeah, like I
like it, and I mean, I think that's why, again, like in network marketing, not only do we have ranks, but when somebody hits top rank and like destroys it, how many companies come up with a new rank?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they do that?
Yeah,
because people need to know what the standard is. So it's our job then as the leaders to set the standard of what we want to see people do, because people do want to be around us. They want to be in your inner circle. They want to know what's going on at Carlos's house. Like, oh my God. Right? Oh, you can't come in if you're not or like not say it like that, but
you're right. I think I try to humble myself for so many years that I try not to be like in this space. And I'm realizing people need somebody to kind of be in that space. That's why they all follow you, to be honest. They're all like, Jesse Lee's that person, but I'm like, Kat's just like one of the girls, so it's good. I need to step into that a little bit more.
I taught you how to raise your hands and you're not calling on me.
Oh, sorry. I'll stop talking.
Sorry, Beth. I learned how to raise my hand last week. Okay, guys. So, I mean, I'm not good at the lower hand, raise hand thing.
No, Kat, don't worry about it at all. I was just curious. So Jen and I were chatting because she's a top leader on my team. And I just said, you're my only person like that. So we were kind of chatting back and forth, like, how do you create that? How did you roll that out and say, like, okay, these are my people. These are the people that we all collaborate together. We know, like, we were trying to talk core values at our leader retreat and people are like rolling their eyes. And I'm like, no, this is really crucial. How do you develop that?
Yeah, I don't think you have to talk about it like that. I think it's more like you and Jen, I guess, could decide, like, this is what we're looking for. Who do we see, like back to Chris Brown's thing, that we can start pushing out of their nest? Who could be this if they had the development? Who could become that if they had the coaching on whatever? And then, like, I didn't say, hey guys, let's come up with, not that you did this, let's come up with some core values. Like, I just started getting on calls like, our core value is empathy. You know, like, this is what we do, you know, like, and then I would use, like, the perfect example. Look at how Rakan does da 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 da. And I will tell you, like, there's been people that in the beginning I edified because I thought, like, you're going to make mistakes, I guess is what I'm trying to say, who I edified. And now I'm like, ooh, the devil's real, you know, like, so I've had my moments where I'm like, we got to back this thing up here, you know? But again, to that point, I just choose not to get jaded about that. And that's difficult, I know, because we're humans and we have emotions, but I choose to move forward in that and edify like crazy the people who stay close to the pack. So like yesterday was payday for a lot of us, I'm sure, myself included. And so on payday, all those trainers, they've done it for, months now anyway, years, some of them will send me a gratitude message. It's just like, it's built into them. It's who they are, and sharing those and like blacking out their checks, because these checks are, people's annual salaries, blacking that out. And then their big gratitude post. I posted maybe 5 or 6 of them yesterday, these like beautiful messages that some of these these Empire trainers sent. And then I posted something where I actually mentioned Zig Ziglar. Like I just wrote a text. It might still be up in my Instagram story if you want to see it. But, and I just wrote a text and I'm like, I learned a long time ago, you get everything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want. Loyalty pays. I'm loyal to them. They're loyal to me. I learned this from Zig Ziglar. And I mean, it got screenshot a ton. It was reposted a million times, not a million times, but reposted a ton of times. And it was just a good reminder to all the people, like, just get close. Just get close. So, and some of it, you don't even have to put Jen's name on it, but you guys can kind of create like a coup, like a little pack, if you will, not really a coup, I guess, but like create a little pack where like you blur her name out. She feeds you little messages. You share that kind of stuff. So people go, oh my God, who was that? And it's like, oh, just one of these up and coming leaders, who just is doing the thing, helping on trainings. And then, I'm a big fan of, I probably learned this from Eric, golly, but I ignore bad behavior. It's not that I don't see it, and it's not that I don't take note of it, okay? It's just that I ignore it, and I am loud when it comes to praise. Really, really loud. Speaking in contrast, whatever you're looking for more of, be so annoyingly loud about it. So I'll give you an example from this week. I have 2 people on our team. One is a rank 5. They probably make $3,500 a month. One is a rank 3. She probably makes $1,000 a month. Okay. Not big checks. Super loyal. Like literally runs my team loyal. Like my frontline chats don't operate without it's 3 people. It's a husband and wife couple and a lady in Hawaii, 65 years old, answers all the questions, everything. I mean, like the team doesn't function without them. Okay. I sent the one in Hawaii about $1,000 of product, of her favorite product, because she's always talking about it and how like, money's tight. It's very expensive here. My dog had to have surgery, whatever. Wrote her a long love note. She's super yellow, mushy, gushy, whatever. Of course, she posted it on social. I posted it everywhere. And everyone's, oh my God, Frida. Oh my God, Frida. We love Frida. Da, 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 da. Right. And then the couple, they live in the UK and they run my entire chat for welcome to the team, new family chat, which has 350 brand new infants in it, right? They're answering dumbass questions all day. God bless them, all day, every day. Where's my link? I'm not here for it. I'm going to die if I have to answer those questions. I bought them gifts, like lots of little gifts, bought their daughter gifts. And then I bought them iPad Pros. So loud on like, these are the kinds of people we want on our team. Tonight on team training, where there's going to be 1,000 on the call. The call always maxes. And then probably, that's so funny. Frida just said new customer on Smart Chip from Canada. I just see a message that just jumped up. Speaking of Frida. Anyway, she's not a big seller, right? But I'm going, so, and there'll be like 400, 500 people watching in the Facebook group, right? Because it has to stream into there since we max it. I'm going to re-edify them and their behavior. All the whatever, that's because there's, the crystal team or whatever, they're in hammocks all week, they're like, I'm going to ignore that bad behavior and I'm going to go heavy in recognition, every flippin' love language, show them off of what I want to see more of. And so even if it's kind of constructed right now between the two of you, and you don't even say names, show people what you're looking for, and people will start to show up. I promise. Because more people will be like, even if they're like, I just want the iPad, whatever, like you're not going to get them an iPad if they show up for a month and a half. Like these people have been showing up for me for, a year every day. But like, just think about ways that you can ignore the bad, find a little bit of good, build the good through crazy edification, and then create the culture you want.
Jessica, I have a question if we have time.
Sure. I do have a half hour, by the way. I have another call.
Okay.
But yes, I got 5 minutes. Go.
Okay. So I have a leader in my organization. Well, I'm not even going to say a leader, but he achieved vice president, 2 years ago, whatever. So apparently he's de-edifying me to his team. And so they're not growing. They haven't had promotions in 9 months. So I'm just like, do I de-edify him and move around like Taproot? Like, what do I do? Because I'm so sick of it right now.
Okay. So back to the point of like, I don't ever directly de-edify anybody. There's a couple things you can do. First of all, if there's some kind of, like I mentioned, that personal volume thing, if there's some kind of, you can highlight and praise the people who are doing your system, following your whatever, and winning, edify them while showing, like I love leaderboards because of that. It shows the good behavior and it shows who's not doing anything, right? I use language like, this is our, like, oh my gosh, and it's Kat Aragon. This is our fastest growing team. Yes. Like I do that all the time, right? And I post the numbers so often, you got the little analytical people tracking everything anyway. Now, I think all of us need to be taprooting from day one, no matter what. So if you were to join, like some of you have been my customer before, you literally got a text message from me. I know you did because I sent it, right? Like you get texts, whether you're a customer, whether you're a promoter, whatever. I'm in the organization day one, taprooting, no matter what. Now I know you're saying like, oh, I haven't done that. Go do it now. Go create relationships. However, more importantly than creating relationships with just everybody is create relationships with those leaders that are in that organization, because somebody is driving that business to keep him or her at whatever rank they're at. Those are the people you need relationships with. So that retreat that I just crashed in Mexico, 2 of the 3 big leaders are underneath the leader who talks about hammocks. I don't know why I always use that example, but it pissed me off. I got on a call and she said, just go sit in the hammock. And I'm like, go sit in the what? This is like 3 years ago. I'm still not over it, guys. The hammock traumatized me. All right. But anyway, I said something to them, to the 2 leaders who are getting very frustrated with their leader because their achiever is preaching what I just told you. And that is not what they're doing because they're leading. And I said something to them, and you can take exactly what I said. I just looked at them and I said, their names are Stephanie and Amanda. I said, Stephanie and Amanda, I don't need to tell you what to do. Because here's the thing. I trust you in your leadership. You need to make a decision of the vision of where you want to go and the long-term vision of your business. If she fits into that, then keep using her on your calls. Keep bringing her to whatever. Keep driving people to her calls. But you need to live in the future for a minute and ask yourself, do you want your business to look like that? And if the answer is yes, then okay, I trust your leadership. And if the answer is no, then I think you know what you need to do. And I'm not going to tell you what to do. Which really, I told her what the hell to do, but she didn't feel like I told her what the hell to do. Okay. So there's a way you can kind of massage that, right? Where you don't seem like the big bossy lady who de-edified him or her or whatever. Cause I didn't, but I also said like, is that really what you want your life to look like? Cashing checks, $80,000 checks that you're not proud of? And both of them, because they are leaders and achievers, were like, hell no, hell no. And then immediately went into action. She was going to apparently, the hammock girl was apparently going to train the team the next day on a Zoom. And they called her and were like, oh my God, we're so busy. Like, it's such a packed schedule. We don't need you. Enjoy your day in your hammock. I'm kidding. I don't know if they said that, but they were like, just enjoy your day. Like, the day is so full. They made the decision like that. But people will only listen to you like that if you create that relationship first. So this might be like a 3, 4, 6 month process before you can really have that conversation. But get to know those people. Little drips, little tiny, maybe like company swag you can send to them. Maybe, little notes in the mail, maybe like little things like I see you when they recruit somebody. Like things that won't be like, oh, she's trying too hard. She's trying to like get in my business. Those little drips, little friend request on Facebook goes a long way when you're the big leader like you are. Oh my God, I got a friend request. Oh my God, she double tapped my photo on Instagram. Oh my God. Strategy, long-term strategy. Okay, I really have to go. I'm sorry that I abused all your time for an extra half hour. But like, whatever. I love you guys. Thank you for having me. And don't tell Eric, or no, if you tell Eric, just say it was great. Just say it was amazing. You learned everything. And it didn't go over at all. And, now you're just ready to go make $1 billion. So
Yes, girl.
I love you guys. I talk to you soon. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, Jesse.
Of course. Thanks, Steve.